Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This reading is going to be for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is your December 2020 monthly reading. It's a 9-card grid. I'm using the Cosmic Tarot. Obviously, I have already shuffled and laid out the cards. As always, of course, if the reading resonates at any point, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you'd like to donate to support this work, there are ways to do that as well. And of course, you can also book a personal reading. This is one style of personal reading that I offer. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and take a look at my website, or feel free to contact me through my social media channels. Again, all that information is listed down below. Libras, let's get into it. So as I was shuffling and laying your cards out, I felt this energy of sort of moving into a new sort of stage or cycle of your life. And it feels really, really good. And it feels like you've had to sort of overcome sort of a period or like kind of a place of feeling, kind of like weighed down, very stuck and stagnant. And now you're sort of coming up out of that. And of course, we see right at the heart of the reading, the Judgment card, which another sign had as well. I can't remember who it was, but I don't have thumbnails for these rounds of videos. So you can just like scroll through the channel and see the other cards that were laid out for the other readings. And so you may resonate with the reading that also had this card and that card specific in particular in the same placement. Also, it was picking up on a lot of like fire energy, Leo and Sagittarius more specifically. So of course you may be dealing with someone of one of those signs or who has that sign prominently in their chart, right? Their Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or that may be you as well. So just keep that in mind. So the first card you have is the Ace of Pentacles. So again, right, there's a lot of like imagery that's coming up here around like kind of like pushing through, or again, sort of this kind of like rebirth, like being reborn kind of energy. And we're getting that with this first card here too, with this Ace of Pentacles. And, it may sort of, it could sort of be several different things. Pregnancy has sort of been a collective theme, not just for Libras, but overall. And it's kind of been this like kind of like a slow build kind of energy, right? Especially like kind of from like the beginning of the year to now. It's almost like it's almost like a gestational period, right? That it's like, there was like a little sort of seed or egg that is now growing and blossoming, and now this like baby is about to be birthed. But again, it may sort of be, for some of you, it for sure could be literal, right? And doesn't necessarily have to be you. It could be someone that you're connected with, a family member, a friend, or, it could be, of course, more metaphorically speaking, right? Again, this sort of energy of coming into this new stage or cycle of your life. I do feel like, especially in this kind of passing energy that you have, whether you've been aware of it or not, that there's sort of been a lot of work that's been happening around your heart chakra. I'm just seeing a lot of green. I'm seeing the heart chakra as well as the solar plexus chakra. So again, you may have been sort of just sort of opening up your heart, right? Which may sort of like open you up to sort of new feelings, new thoughts, ideas, passions, even people, opportunities again. And also with the solar plexus, tapping into your creativity, which again has been sort of a very collective message, especially of late, but it's definitely coming across specifically in your reading as well, Libra. The other thing that I'm seeing with this card, right? So especially again, if you have been sort of doing heart chakra healing work, or if that's something that you're interested in, working with green stones, okay? And it kind of, in a way, I'm almost getting this message too, that if it's not like specifically your heart chakra, then it's about sort of your sense of grounding and stability, which of course could be related to financial sort of issues or matters here, right? With that Ace of Pentacles. And in that way, it's like, as you sort of build up again, that grounding and stability for yourself, it's creating like this safe space for your heart, okay? If that makes sense. And of course, as always, the Ace of Pentacles can talk about a new offer, an opportunity, especially one that is related to work or sort of monetary matters. Could also be some type of gift or, loan of some sort, right? Again, especially if it has to do with like something tangible, but that's not going to be the case for all of you, okay? The next card you have is the Queen of Cups. So again, right, really being in that water, in that heart space with that water energy here, right? Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. But again, I do feel like this is either you, or of course it could be someone that you're connecting with as well, right? Because readings can reflect us or people that we are closely connected to. So again, just an emphasis on sort of being in the heart space, sort of being aware of our thoughts as it pertains to our sort of emotions and our feelings, okay? The next card that you have is the Seven of Wands. And this is where we sort of start getting into, I feel like I just, for lack of a better phrase, I just feel like there are forces that are trying to hold you back, whether it's situational, whether it's connections with other people, whether it's your sort of own neuroses, right? Your own sort of thinking, your own procrastination. Again, things that you're sort of like trying to work to overcome, whether they're outside of you or again, sort of more internally based things that you're working on. And I just, as I've said that, 555, it was 5:55 minutes on the clock of recording. And you'll note at the tail end when I talk about the cards that were at the bottom and the top that you have 2 5s here, right? And 5s always indicate that we're in the midst of change and flux, right? And 55 taken together can talk about sort of, travel or adventure, but in that sense, I'm sort of getting this forward movement, forward momentum kind of energy. And 555, of course, can be like a tower moment, right? Sudden or unexpected change. But towers come in to break down faulty foundations, right? Things, right? If you're working on to that point of the Ace of Pentacles, like trying to build up this steady, solid foundation for yourself so that you sort of feel protected to be yourself and really sort of, especially if I feel like this is a special message for people who might sort of be artists or creatives, right? Or in something along those lines, because I feel like you're just kind of looking for, a safe place to be vulnerable, if that makes sense. And again, it could be energetically, but it could also be sort of environmentally, right? Like your home, your work environment, your friendships, your relationships, etc. Okay, so I do also feel this energy, right? The Seven of Wands talks about kind of like standing your ground. So I feel like, again, like you've done a lot of work sort of on yourself, and just like, especially like energetically speaking. And again, these, for lack of a better phrase, forces that are trying to hold you back. It's like see how the man is like fending off those other wands. It's almost like, the quintessential like people coming for your spot, but it doesn't have to be that so literally, okay? So just keep that in mind. The next card, look at the entire next row, actually, if you look, is entirely major arcana, right? So this is just another indication that right now you're, again, very much so in the midst of this rebirth energy, this change. The World card here is indicating a new cycle. And of course, with the Magician here, right, it's telling us that you're in a highly manifestative period of your life and sort of have a lot of manifestative and alchemization energy that's around you. The Magician is an air energy, of course. So again, I'm picking up that this is you. You could also be connected with a Gemini here. And again, I'm picking up a lot of balance, right? Which you are the sign of balance, Libra, the justice scales. And the Magician tells us that we have everything that it is that we need to sort of create and manifest and go wherever it is that we want to go. Sometimes that requires sort of a shift in perspective, right? To kind of realize that we do have everything that it is that we need, right? And again, for a lot of you, this could also be talking about not just sort of shifting, thoughts and feelings, but again, also like shifting relationships, shifting environments, shifting work responsibilities or work priorities, rather. But possibly, right? So the next card that you have is, again, the Judgment card, right? Coming up smack in the middle of the reading. And like I was sort of talking about earlier with that Ace of Pentacles, right? And Judgment is an earth energy. And it can actually be, for me, Sagittarius or Capricorn, right? So Sag, fire, Capricorn would be the earth energy. But again, this sort of rebirth kind of energy. And I feel like when I've been seeing this card lately, and again, it came up in another reading, I'm just sort of, for any of you who watched Game of Thrones, I'm getting just that breaker of chains kind of thing, right? So it could be, I feel like it's again, you've done work on yourself for you to kind of break free of this sort of place or situation or relationship, way of sort of thinking or being that sort of was holding you back or keeping you stuck or stagnant. But in a way, I feel like it also, sort of reverberates out and affects other people. So, or other sort of things. So whether that's, again, external sort of things, whether that changes sort of the nature or the face of your work, changing sort of dynamics in relationships, or it could even be spiritual, right? Because what I'm getting is, and I say this to clients often, but when we do the healing work on ourselves, we heal generations back and we heal generations going forward. So it could be, sort of a more spiritually energetic sort of message about breaking, cycles, generational kind of cycles. Okay. Really, really huge if that's the case. So kudos to you, like pat yourself on the back and take a bow. It's huge, huge, huge deal when you've sort of done that work and that healing work, again, not just for yourself, but people that you are energetically attached to as well, your ancestry, etc. So the next card that you have here, right, is the World card, right? And the World, of course, talks about, again, sort of changing, going into a new sort of stage or cycle of your life, right? A new kind of place. And for some of you, again, this could have to do with sort of travel or relocation. For others of you as well, I am picking up on, and this has been coming up in a lot of the readings this month, that for a lot of people, sort of these, especially any sort of changes that have been happening sort of around, your headspace, your mind space, your thought processes, shifting perspectives, sort of like incorporating or finding out kind of new information, could be related to that full moon eclipse that we had in Gemini just over a week ago, last Monday on the 30th. Okay, so if you've sort of noticed, maybe the nature of your dreams have been changing, maybe you've sort of just been like, sort of thinking new thoughts, getting kind of creative inspiration, pay attention to that, especially if, it seems like it sort of might coincide with that astrological event. And if so, pay attention to the next eclipse that we have coming up on December the 14th as well. Okay. And again, connecting with an earth energy here too. So you may be connecting with an earth sign, a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, especially that you have the 9 of Pentacles following on from that. So again, for some of you, because in this deck, this card can sometimes for me also represent pregnancy, right? You have the 9 Pentacles, which again, sort of, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? That it's sort of been this crescendo, this buildup. So again, for some of you, it could be talking about sort of a literal childbirth. For others of you, this is just talking about, again, sort of energetically being reborn, having gone through sort of a cycle or a lesson, a phase of sort of growth or development, right? Coming to a point of completion and starting something new, right? Which is a good sort of segue into the next card, which is the Princess of Swords, right? Because I kind of feel like this, again, like there's a newness in terms of your, sort of your mental kind of frameworks, right? The way you sort of think, communicate, maybe even how you think about yourself and your place in the world and your purpose, all these things. And again, I feel like a lot of you may be sort of receiving like spiritual messages or downloads, right? So just pay attention to any sort of signs, synchronicities, again, messages you may be getting through your dreams. I'm surprised I haven't said it in any of the readings this round yet, but of course, if you dream, do dream journal, because I just say that all the time. I sound like a broken record sometimes with some of these things, but it's super important, right? Because even if it might not make sense to you, just write down what you can remember, and the act of writing it down will usually help you to remember more going forward, right? Some people struggle with sort of like remembering their dreams or remembering all of it, right? And not that remembering all of it is a goal. Maybe you're not, maybe there's certain pieces of information, but you get what I'm trying to say here. For others of you, I just got this like sort of like a side tinge of like learning or studying something new or going back to school. So again, could be you, could be someone that you're connecting with here. Off of this card, I also just really pick up like working with clear quartz crystal for clarity. Okay. So if that's something that you're sort of looking for, I'm actually picking up on a few crystals for you. So again, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I thought I did. I meant to. But green crystals for the heart chakra. I'm just going to sort of put that out generally. Well, I'll say a few that I know that I have out here right now. So like green calcite, prehnite, jade. But there are many, many others. Malachite, but more specifically, I'm seeing in your reading clear quartz, citrine, as well as lapis lazuli. Okay, so I feel like you might sort of benefit from those crystals, working with those crystals right now for this month, or going forward sort of in perpetuity, if you are someone who works with and connects with crystals. Not everyone is. And then finally, I love this card coming out for you at the end. Notice you have 2 9s here, okay, which again speaks to completion. And two nines taken together in the numerology deck speaks to having compassion, right? So especially if you're sort of going through, massive change and transformation, which it seems like you are right now, again, with that, especially with the major arcana energy right smack in the middle of the reading, it's like, just be compassionate with yourself as you sort of go through this flow of change, right? And the more compassion that you show to yourself, the more that will flow outwardly as well. And so you have the 9 of Cups here, right? 9 of Cups, of course, is wish fulfillment. So I always tell people, make a wish when you see this card, but be careful what you wish for, right? Make sure that it's something that really is going to serve your highest self and highest good, right? So maybe take I feel like some of you may sort of be establishing kind of like, or like getting back into kind of like a meditative or a journaling routine. So if so, maybe think about what your intentions are, especially again, as we approach the new moon, also on the 14th. Okay. So at the bottom and the top of the deck, you had the 5 of Wands reverse and the 5 of Swords. So 5 of Wands, right? I'll just pick it up. Haven't really been doing this, but I want to show y'all, right? It sort of represents conflict, right? So again, whether it was an externally based conflict, right? Sort of, and again, I was picking up at the beginning of the reading and during the pre-shuffle, sort of like this very kind of restricting, situation or dynamic or environment. And that's where I feel like if it's external, that's where the conflict is coming from. Or again, for some of you, it doesn't actually involve an outside party or an outside situation. It's sort of things that you are sort of dealing with and resolving within. Okay. And then you have the 5 of Swords here, right? And 5 of Swords, kind of a similar, not the same, but a similar kind of connotation. Because with the 5 of Wands reverse, it's like you're, again, like rising above it. Or with the 5 of Swords, oftentimes I get the message of like picking and choosing your battles, right? This isn't like a typical depiction of the 5 of Swords, but in that way, because usually the 5 of Swords, right, those of you who are familiar with tarot will show, like, I'm sorry, my dog's trying to, no, Zeus, no, Zeus, no. Shows like a character sort of walking away from a battle, right? Which is where that pick and choose your battles sort of message and imagery comes from. But with this depiction of the 5 of Swords, to me, it really talks about surrender, right? Surrendering to sort of what's trying to sort of come in here versus what's trying to fall away, right? And again, sort of really being in that nice co-creative, right, flow with the universe. So let's get your numerology card and then we'll close out the readings. Libras, I think you're going to be my last reading for today, and then I'll finish up the rest of the signs tomorrow. Individuality keeps coming up for you. So, if there were especially maybe issues in terms of codependency or around sort of, dependence versus independence, again, pay attention to that. You have the number 13, effort, coming up. And that yellow on the card really, again, reminds me of creativity. So I'm going to read for this card and then we'll close out the reading. Oh, I see why my dog was bothering me. He's trying to get his ball when he can't get it. 1 second, Zeus. I'll get it for you in a sec. Okay, so this card indicates a time when extra effort is required to overcome your current obstacles and challenges, as you are now being tested and your attitude, sorry, he's trying to, Zeus, and your attitude is the key. Rather than surrender to self-pity, laziness, negativity, or frustration, you must utilize your inner power, for you are stronger than you think. Sorry, the reason the camera is shaking is because I have a crazy bulldog underneath me. Stop it. Okay, where did I leave off? Okay, when the going gets tough, the tough must... Zeus, back up. Back up, Papa. Stop. I swear. Okay, you're gonna go in the crate from now on when I record. So, sorry, let me go back. When the going gets tough, the tough must get going. So pull yourself together and have faith in your success by drawing this card. Oh my, see, I knew that was gonna happen. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so pull yourself together and have faith in your success. By drawing this card, you are being encouraged to call upon your inner and outer resources to achieve the outcome you desire. Rather than succumb to quick fix solutions, shortcuts, or manipulation, you must plan, focus, and act with tenacity and drive. With effort and determination, you will break through all restrictions that are presently holding you back. The affirmation says, with optimism, faith, and effort, I overcome my challenges. So Libra, I apologize for the not so technical interruptions there at the end. If the reading resonated, again, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really helps to drive support to the channel. Again, if you'd like to donate, 'tis the season of giving. There are ways to donate down below. Any and all amounts are always appreciated greatly. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, again, you can do that through my website, or feel free to reach out to me on social media. And I do like post, obviously, more frequent content on social media. So think about giving me a follow over there if the message resonated. For the mid-month readings, I'll be doing year ahead card spreads. So I did those for 2020. There's a playlist that's available. You can go back and watch the one for Libra, see if and how it resonated. Come back and visit me later on this month for the next one. Or again, you can book that as a personal reading for yourself as well. So Libras, again, thank you so much. Take care. I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Bye.